Hey there, Alex Kidman here with a quick little news thing. Haven't done one of these for a while, but it caught my eye that the ACCC has announced that it is not going to oppose the mobile spectrum sharing arrangement that TPG and Optus wanted to enter into for regional Australia. And I keep my eye on the telecoms market, and regional Australia, because I grew up in regional Australia, has always been somewhere that kind of interested me. It's often the forgotten part of Australia's telco landscape. Now, to a certain extent, that is population-based. Something like 80% of people in Australia live in larger metropolitan cities and regional towns and centres, so regional Australia sometimes gets the short shrift. And for the longest time, of course, the prevailing wisdom there was, well, go with Telstra because they've got the coverage and nobody else does, really. And that's what the proposed spectrum sharing and, in fact, infrastructure sharing agreement between TPG and Optus was meant to deal with. And you might think, well, I'm not with TPG, but maybe you're with Vodafone because TPG, of course, owns Vodafone. TPG, though, is the parent company. But I don't really want to get into the business side of things. I want to get into what this will actually mean, what this will mean for consumers more broadly. And I like it. I think it's a really good setup. The structure of the deal is such that TPG will actually decommission some hardware in regional areas where Optus already has hardware, but Optus will be able to use spectrum that TPG has the license for. Again, probably more technical than you wanted to know, but the practical upshot here should be that where there is existing Optus 4G and, to a lesser extent, 5G coverage in regional areas, Vodafone and TPG's other brands, so iiNet and services like that, but also some of the MVNOs on that service, Kogan Mobile is the one that comes to mind, should be able to access those services. So you should be able to travel a bit more far and wide while still staying on those networks, as long as there is Optus coverage there already. If you do live in a metropolitan area, there's no change. And in fact, those networks will continue to compete in terms of hardware rollout. They're not sharing spectrum there. It's just when you get out into the country. Now, this is not a unique deal. Many, many years ago, in fact, Telstra had a network sharing deal with Three, back when Three existed in Australia. And I'm really showing my age as a tech journalist there. But it is an interesting one to see because of how much more competition it opens up. This isn't just a story for people who might be on Vodafone, after all, because it also puts pressure on Telstra specifically, this is a bit of a wedge play against Telstra, but Optus as well, to not just up the quality of their services, which is what this deal will do, but also potentially a bit of price competition as well, because Vodafone especially are the kind of challenger brand in this space. They definitely have the smaller market share of the big three mobile networks, and as such, they've long competed on price, but they've had to kind of accept the idea of, well, we compete on price, but what we offer is lesser, and that's why it's cheaper. Now that it will be more, I should say this deal has been approved, but the actual rollout, the way it will work, will not actually kick in until early next year. Mobile networks do not reconfigure themselves overnight, unfortunately. However, once that happens, if you are in a regional area, if you live in a regional area, or even if you just travel through them a whole bunch, you'll have a wider choice. Even if your choice is with the incumbent, they're under more pressure to provide better services. That's a bit of a win for everyone, I think.